Hey, I'm JC Warbeck.
And I'm Clarissa Scheidel. We
We're
are the founders of Three Putt Golf Co.
As avid golfers, we could never find ladies' golf clothing that was comfortable and stylish.
So we decided to create our own brand that is fashionable, comfortable, and size inclusive up to 3X.
Each three-putt piece is uniquely ours. Check out our collection at threeputtgolfco.ca or visit our socials under Three Putt Golf Co.
And remember, 3 putts build character.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Stacey Comer, the host of the Unexpected Journeys podcast. Just a quick note before this podcast airs. I interviewed Lauren Rodych-Eberle about a month or so ago, and at that time we knew she was expecting. And when I did the interview, we talked about adding one member of the family, a new member of the family. But since then, we found out that she's actually having twins. So even though I refer to her as having one baby on the way, she actually has two on the way. So just wanted to clear that up before the interview actually plays, and also say congratulations to Lauren and her husband Jordan on twins. How exciting. So again, as you listen to the podcast, she's having twins. Congratulations, and thanks to all of you for listening. Hello and welcome to the Unexpected Journeys podcast. This is the podcast where we talk to people with interesting stories about unexpected journeys in their life. And today, my guest is Lauren Rodych-Eberle. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat.
Well, Lauren, I wrote down a bit of a description for you because you have so much that you are involved in. So you're a conscious parenting coach. You're a mother of three with one more on the way. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
And basically, I guess I can just describe you as a super mom. Does that seem about right?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I know it never feels like that to anyone when they're in it, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Well, you have an incredibly busy life, like we talked about. If you look at your social media, there's so many different things that you are involved in. So first of all, let's talk with how do you keep everything organized? Do you have a special system, or is it just, Lauren has her way of doing things and it's set out?
Yeah, it probably helps that I've always been super type A and I've always had lots of jobs on the go, which I know we'll talk a little bit about, but there's always been lots of pockets of things going on. So, the star of the show really is my calendar, my notes app. Every season or every year, I use Excel and I just make a spreadsheet of my entire life. I'm a big fan of block scheduling so that I can make sure that everything's getting the right amount of time that I want to give it. So really writing things down is, like I said, the star of the show.
And now for several months of the year, you are solo parenting, which you've done with three. Now you're going to be doing with four shortly. Your husband plays in the NHL, so he's not home a lot, which, no fault of his own, obviously. So how do you handle all of that? And will there be a change coming up when you have your fourth child?
Yeah, so I say that during the season, which could be anywhere from 8 to 10 months, the guys are gone 75% of the time, which is what people don't really see from the outside. So it's a lot of solo parenting. So then it's also a huge shift when it's summertime and off season and the schedule looks totally different and they're around more. So there's always kind of this shift in how much support we have at home with our spouses. But for solo parenting, I really think the biggest thing is that I've always just made me and the kids a team. And so that means like we're doing everything together, whether it's cheering on your siblings at an activity or like we all go to appointments together, or it's just getting ready for bed, making food, all of those things. We really just have that team mentality. And I think that simplifies it, but it also creates this bond that just makes it easier for all of us to do the things together. So it's kind of wild, again, with the solo parenting in our circumstance because we're away from family and away from our main network. So You're not only solo parenting, but you kind of lose your village. We've been blessed that we've been in the same place for a while now. So we've created a community of people, but that's a huge difference too. So I would say going into having my fourth, you were asking if there's anything different that's going to come. After my third, I got a little bit better at asking for help. So it was the first time I had a postpartum doula. So I had a postpartum doula come and help for a few months, like 2 days a week for 4 hours. and just kind of make sure that our house was reset so that I could just love up on the kids. Often postpartum doulas will help with nursing and baby wearing and all these things you might need to learn. But I was in the boat where I was like, I don't need help with those things. I really need help making sure that I finish all my kids' laundry and have lunch on the table for them and all those things. Because I should add, I'm a homeschool mom as well. So my kids are around all the time. I'm homeschooling them and all of that too. So that layer of having a postpartum doula support and help our family was so, so huge. And so I will be doing that again with the same postpartum doula. She was such a good guide. So she's going to come and help support us after this baby comes. It's huge.
Well, and now adding one more layer to things, Lauren, is you are a conscious parenting coach. So I don't know how you fit all of this stuff in, but for those who don't know, what is conscious parenting?
Yeah, so the most concise answer is that conscious parenting is really learning to respond to our children with both awareness and connection. So most of us are kind of default parenting from the way we were raised. And there can be positives and negatives to all of that. But conscious parenting really brings up how to address those emotional triggers within ourselves so that we can parent really intentionally. And overall, like I said, the connection piece is huge. So conscious parenting is about the relationship because that's how you can work as that team that I was talking about. That's how you can find enjoyment in parenting and create this really beautiful relationship that will flourish throughout your life with your children. So that's actually the reason I got into conscious parenting because I love parenting so much. I'm so grateful every single day that I get the gift of being a mom. So I just wanted other parents to be able to experience that enjoyment and kind of help them find more ease in the elements that they might find challenging.
So you have a blog and on social media, anybody who follows you can see a lot of the things you post about conscious parenting. You have webinars. Do you have memberships as well? And if people want to join the webinars, do they have to buy a membership or can they just join the webinars or how does that work, Lauren?
Yeah, I've tried it a few different ways. And right now, what it's settled on, because I used to let people just hop into the webinars one offs, but now it is fully membership. So you can join the membership, and what you get with that is you get to come live to every monthly webinar, but then you also get all of the back material. So we're coming up on our 17th webinar, and there's multiple mindful minis in there, little mini ones as well. And you get all of that material, plus you get access to the community, access to me to ask questions. And then if you do want to do one-on-one coaching, which I have very limited spaces for that right now, that helps you get your foot in the door for that one-on-one coaching. But it really is an incredible space to have membership-wise because you might be at a certain point in your life and in your parenting where you're like, hey, I don't need this topic right at this moment. But then all of a sudden you are in that place and that comes up for you. Go back in the back end and get some tips and tricks and again, bring that awareness to whatever situation you're in.
So on these webinars, Lauren, can you tell me some of the topics? You said you've had 17 so far, so obviously quite a few. What are some of the topics that you've discussed in them?
Yes, it can be as broad as what is conscious parenting to as specific as sleep or getting out the door or holidays or chores, really anything you can name. I often take requests, and that's what I love because I'm like, where do you want the help? Where do you need the most support? So people put in their requests, and we will cover that topic, whatever it may be.
Well, and how do children benefit from conscious parenting? And I guess the other part of that is how can it be adapted to each family? Is that something that you go through with people?
Yeah, for sure. That's actually such a good question because, like I discussed before, I said it helps the parent love parenting more, but how does it benefit the child? So it benefits the child because when you are enjoying parenting more, the kids feel that, right? So I would say most parents love their children, but there's something special to enjoy being around them. And kids feel when we enjoy being around them, and there's nothing better than that. things. So that's a huge element that I would say they benefit from conscious parenting. And then another thing is that I also say calm is contagious. So when we are parenting with intentionality, we are more calm, we are more confident, and we bring that to the whole environment and energy of our house and our family. So then our kids feel more calm and more aligned, and they feel more safe with us. They know what to expect. So all kids, all parents, all families can benefit from this. And you had asked about adapting, but the thing with conscious parenting too is that no two children are alike, no family situation is alike. So the really beautiful thing about conscious parenting is it's not like there's this one size fits all. It's reminding parents to really tune in to their own kids or their own child and see what that child needs and follow those conscious instincts because every parent knows their child. So it's looking at the kid and then figuring out where they need the most support.
So how do people know, Lauren, if they would be the right fit for conscious parenting? And then ahead of that, is this something that parents should be looking into before the child is even born?
Yeah, I would say if you're human, you are a good fit. But yeah, definitely I think there's people that are extremely called to it because perhaps they're dealing with their own triggers, their own inner child, things from their upbringing, and they're aware of that and they want to work on that. Or there's people that are finding parenting really challenging or they're feeling disconnected from their kids. However, I would say a lot of the people in the membership, a lot of people I talk to are already very conscious and they just want that community and that reminder. And sometimes those little practical elements that they might have not encountered before. So the earlier the better. I think it's so great when people come prior to having kids because there's so much you don't even think about and then you're kind of thrown into that. So if you're thinking about it ahead of time, if you have a spouse and you're able to talk about those things ahead of time, that's the beautiful thing the webinars do too, is they get you thinking, they get you journaling, they get you talking to your people. And I even had people say, even if they don't have kids of their own and they aren't planning on having kids, if they work with kids or they're very active as an aunt or uncle or friend, then they also find the benefit from the mindset and the practicality of conscious parenting.
You share a lot of the conscious parenting information on your social media, Lauren. There's also your home birth experiences there. You have travel journals, sourdough. I know you're big into sourdough, really a little bit of everything. So how do you decide what you post? And I know sometimes it's a dilemma for parents as to how much they should post and what they should post with their kids. So how do you sort all that out?
I would say when it really comes to helping people, I want people to go to my longer form content. I want them to go to the blog or go to the membership, and that's where they'll find the most benefit and where I can share the most.
At 3-Putt Golf Co., we designed everything from the bottom up, so each piece is uniquely ours. We create golf apparel that looks good and moves with you. We are a Canadian company based out of Saskatchewan, and you can check out our full collection at 3puttgolfco.ca. You can also check out our social media handles at 3Putt Golf Co. Remember, 3 putts build character.
It's really hard to know sometimes what is real and, even trying to find advice for parents. They're already busy, especially if, they're first time parents and they've got so much to learn already. How do they weed through, and not just when it comes to conscious parenting, but just finding good parenting advice? Like, is there any suggestions that you can make to parents who are looking for advice and there's so much coming at them? Is there a system that maybe works or that you could suggest that would be beneficial to them?
For sure, yeah, because social media can be so wonderful, but also there's so much nuance that's missed in a 30-second reel. And also there's some
Absolutely.
and there's also some really great advice that then is misunderstood or taken too far or out of context because they're not showing the bigger picture. So social media just is not the place for that, unfortunately. But I think people can find the inspiration on social media, maybe find the people that they're aligned with, that they're called to, that they think are good people, and then go engage with them in other ways. Like go find their blogs, their books, their podcasts, their their webinars if there is, and go join with them that way. Even though I know you're saying they're busy and that seems daunting, but less is more. Find those few people that you can really engage with the material, and then don't feel like you have to take in every little thing from everyone.
Well, and the other side of social media too, you talked about seeing the 30-second reels. That can be frustrating for parents who see, and it looks like these women have it all. You know, they're dressed to the nines, they've got their hair and nails done, they're pushing their baby in this amazing stroller, and it just looks like everything is fine. And then, you know, you turn around and you look at your house and you're like, oh my gosh, am I even going to get laundry done this week? And that can be really frustrating. And, you know, in cases with women who are already dealing with postpartum issues, it can be a really troublesome situation. So what's the advice that you give to women when they are looking and they are seeing these people that have to appear to have it all anyways, and they happen to be struggling in their life? What are some suggestions, Lauren, that you would give to them, other than, of course, realizing that the 30-second reels, as you said, are probably the best of what they've had in their day, and not showing those bad moments? And not everybody does that. Obviously, there are some real creators that show, you know, the dirty diapers sometimes that haven't been tossed and that kind of thing. So where's the balance in that?
Right. Yeah, honestly, I think that's such a mindset thing of
Mm-hmm.
realizing a lot of it is not real at all. Like real at all. They are creating this image to look this way, and even though it's hard because they make it seem real, realizing it's not. And then I think the other aspect is try easier said than done, but trying to remove that comparison because every family situation is different and you're never seeing the whole picture. Even if it's a person who's truly being real, you're only seeing their yeses. And every yes is a no to something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So feeling confident in choosing your own yeses. Actually, even just yesterday, I shared a little story about I was making homemade granola and I was just thinking, some people might be sitting there being like, how does she have the time to make homemade granola? And I can't
Mm-hmm.
even blah, blah, blah. But I was like, what people are not seeing, and I shared this, was that all the laundry I'd done yesterday was still in piles and not been folded or put away. I had Lego all over the house that I had to wrangle my kids to try and tidy up. And my to-do list for the things that I had to put some effort into was a mile long. But my yes at that exact time was granola. So it's like that's what people were seeing, but there's so many other no's that they were not seeing. So just knowing that there's always a mess behind everyone's life, and just feeling confident in what do you want your yeses to be, and don't compare your yeses.
And I guess it's all about priorities too, because the children are the priority, obviously. And it's a really great example about what you talked about yesterday. And I think that if women are having some issues or some doubts, and they see the images and the videos like we were just talking about, that there are ways they can reach out to, especially if it's got them to a point where they're really, really down low. And I know, Lauren, that your specialty is helping people, you know, get sorted and dealing with the parenting tips. But what about the opposite end of the spectrum? And I know we hadn't really chatted about this before, but for ladies who really feel like they need to reach out because they are in need of help, and they kind of feel like they're really down in a spot where, you know, maybe it's going to be really difficult to get out of. What would you suggest for something like that, Lauren?
Yeah, it depends how deep that down is too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I love coaching and I think it will help everyone. But if they are in really deep and they need to see a psychologist or talk to their doctor, like please do that. I think the biggest thing
Mm-hmm.
with that is the other people in their circle, in their life, in their family, also supporting them and recognizing what is just being a little bit in a pit, having a little bit of blues, a little bit of a funk versus like this is really deep and we need to seek help. So I would think, being aware and then also having a network of people that are aware with you.
Okay, and are you okay, Lauren, with people reaching out to you? And if they are going to reach out to you, Lauren, how would you prefer that they do that? Do you want them to be, because obviously if you're getting messages from everywhere, it's going to be a little bit daunting, but should they go to the website and reach out to you there, or should they go through Instagram, or what do you prefer?
Yeah, Instagram is the only social media I have, and I do try and get to all the messages. At some point, I might be a little bit at some points, but I will get to those. So if people have questions, like please reach out on my Instagram, which is just at Lauren Rodych-Eberle. And then my website, I have many websites actually, but just go to laurenrodych-eberle.com because that connects you through to everything. So that connects you through to my cookware, my cookbooks, the sourdough starter, if you want to go that route, but also connects you through to the coaching, the courses, all of that kind of thing. So you can get a little tidbit, a little bit of everything if you go to my website. So Lauren.
Okay, perfect, Lauren. And before I let you go, I would like to talk about an effort that you and your husband Jordan have started. It's been a few years now, I guess, the Sticks and Strings Foundation. Now, one thing you had kind of mentioned, but I'm not sure if people would have caught, you are also a music teacher. So music is a huge thing in your life as well. So tell me about Sticks and Strings, how it was formed, and what's the goal behind the foundation, Lauren?
Yes, so we started in 2022. So our first daughter was born in 2020, and she was really the inspiration behind starting the foundation because it's all for children's charities. So it focuses on the well-being of children and giving them access to things they might not have access to otherwise. So we chose 5 pillars that we think help with a well-rounded upbringing and that we think are really important for kids to have access to. So like you said, sports, with my husband's career, music with my career, reading, always huge, the outdoors, and then helping parents in need, because that's really where it all starts. So those are our 5 pillars. So every year we have initiatives that support those. And right now we're actually having 5 or more, I should say, because we cover all of those. We always have at least 5 initiatives on the go, but sometimes we have more. And right now we're actually building an early childhood learning center in Calgary, which we're really excited about. So that's a really huge initiative that we hope will cover all those 5 pillars and give families access to those things. So we're really excited about that.
So how can people get involved with Sticks and Strings or support the cause, or if they just want to make donations, how do they go about doing that, Lauren?
Yeah, we would love any and all support for that too. So if they don't remember, they can head to my website and it'll be linked through. But if not, sticksandstringsfoundation.com or on Instagram at Sticks and Strings Foundation. And there's so many ways that they can support that. We love. We have a big event coming up in August in Calgary at Launchpad. So if they can attend, please come. That makes such a huge difference.
Awesome.
If they want to just donate and get a tax receipt, that is always helpful. So please do that on our website. And there's also a shop, so they can shop if they're into the merch, and then 100% of that will also go to the foundation. We have volunteers for this summer, but they can reach out to me or to the foundation in any way if they want to volunteer at some point. And if all of that seems daunting, if they can just share, like there's so much goodness in sharing. It's free for people to do, but it's so incredibly helpful to us. So if people share our Instagram, especially if they share about the Launchpad event so we can sell out and raise as much money as possible for that, any sharing.
Now, we talked about at the beginning, Lauren, you're about to become a family of 6 here. So before we wrap up, I wanted to ask, what are you most looking forward to with adding another addition to the family? And what are your kids most looking forward to?
Yes, I'm just excited to meet this little human and get to witness their life because it is such a treat to see how different all of my kids are, but also how they're the best of friends and how they're learning relationships through all the fun sibling dynamics that go with it. So I'm really excited to completely disrupt the whole rhythm we have going right now and to add this little human and create a new team dynamic. And the kids are so excited. It's lovely to see that they're just like, hey, can we have more siblings as soon as possible? So I love that they're excited about it and that they too are excited to add someone to their sibling team.
Well, that is fantastic, Lauren. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. I know, like you said, there's so much that is going on, but it's just always interesting chatting with you because I just love to hear the perspective from the parenting side of things. And I guess one more thing I should ask you for the conscious parenting. This isn't just something for parents of newborns, correct? It's for, like, if somebody has, a teenager now and they maybe want to look at and get some ideas. That's okay, right? There's no age limit for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am a certified conscious parenting coach, so I was trained in all areas My oldest is 6, so I think some people feel like I only have the hands-on experience of parenting up to 6. However, I have nieces and nephews that are up to 22, so I've had lots of fun with them. And like you said, I'm a music teacher, so I have also had the experience of teaching all ages. So and if they want, they can also reach out to a conscious parenting coach who has had teenagers if they feel like that would be more in their realm. But yes, conscious parenting goes for all ages and even really into adulthood, because we talk even a lot about conscious grandparenting and how to help your adult children when you're on that end of it. So yes, there's no age limit for consciousness.
Well, thanks again, Lauren. And one more time before I let you go here, for people looking for information either on Sticks and Strings or in regards to your conscious parenting, where can they go to find all of it?
Yes, thank you so much again. So yeah, on Instagram at Lauren Rodych-Eberle or my website, laurenrodych-eberle.com.
Unexpected Journeys is produced and hosted by me, Stacey Comer. Executive producer is Sean Lannon. Podcast and host representation is Lemmon Entertainment. Thank you to our episode sponsor, 3Putt Golf Co. You can find us on all social media and podcast sites under the name Unexpected Journeys. Please like and subscribe wherever you're listening to us. We appreciate any and all feedback, and if you are interested in being a guest on the Unexpected Journeys podcast, you can email us at unexpectedjourneyspod@gmail.com. For sponsorship inquiries, send a message to Jessica@lemmonent.com. That's lemon with 2 M's. Thank you so much for listening.